Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fossiano. Today is Monday. I have a somewhat in-depth whiskey review for you. Today, we've got the Weller Full Proof. Let's go ahead and pour it, nose it, taste it. Not really a whole lot to talk about. I will talk about it just slightly. I'm going to add some water to it and then give it a score at the very end. So this is the Weller Full Proof. I haven't really had much experience with the Weller lineup in Phoenix, Arizona. We really don't see these very often. Got an opportunity to win this through Total Wine, being a Total Wine Club member. So this is a Sazerac Barrel Select, and it's selected for Total Wine. The Full Proof coming in 114 proof. It has the Buffalo Trace Weller Wheated Mash Bill. I'll get to that here in a little bit. It's a 750 milliliter bottle, and I don't know if I overpaid for this or not. So this was $77.99. I'm always curious if you guys see these in your area, and if you do see them, what do you pay for them? My only experience with a Weller product is the Weller Antique. I liked that one quite a bit, and it's pretty much gone. I think I only have like a 2-ounce sample left in one of those little 2-ounce sample bottles. It got really low, and I didn't want it to just sit in the bottle, so I put the remaining 2 ounces in a little bottle and threw away the bottle. So this is really soft. I mean, really soft on the nose. I'm not really getting much of anything. I usually will get like a bourbon note, brown sugar, caramel, vanilla. Wheated bourbons every once in a while will come across as like a wheat roll. They have like oats on top that you get from a restaurant that usually I get. It's called a Black Angus. I don't know if you guys have Black Angus in your area or not, but before the meal, they serve like a wheated roll. This really just smells like melted butter, maybe like a brown butter sauce. Does have a little bit of an ethanol burn to it in the nose, but not really a whole lot. Just very soft and very like nondescript. Hopefully the palate will be a little bit different. So let's go get it out on the palate. Cheers, everybody. All right, so that is a pleasant surprise. It's really coming alive on the palate. Big time cherry. That buttery brown butter note is really coming through. High intensity with vanilla. That proof point is sinking into the chest. It's radiating out, kind of heating me up. Far more flavorful on the palate based on what I was getting on the nose, thankfully. Even though it is still pretty proofy, 114 proof, it glides across the tongue, pretty thin, not really that dynamic, even though I just said that it's really flavorful. But it's just hitting rather soft as far as the ABV, thinking that it was going to hit pretty hard. And as far as the flavors go, they're nice and well-rounded, but yeah, maybe not as intense as I really thought it would be after that initial sip. And maybe that's because of the finish. These flavors fall off really quick. It hits the front of the palate extremely sweet, and then as it travels back to the back of the palate and the finish, it just drops off quite a bit. Okay, now on that second nosing, and I think maybe the palate and the nose have to kind of link up for you to really experience it. But there's some cherry, again, dark brown butter sauce, a little bit of bready bakiness kind of thing, like that breaded roll or that wheated roll. I got to get a couple of wheated bourbons into a blind, and not knowing that I'm tasting a wheated bourbon, I wonder if that bread note will come through. Little floral, little herby. Not the biggest fan of floral or florality in a whiskey. And now that I'm really smelling this, it is really floral. Let me go ahead and get a second sip, concentrate a little bit more, talk about it, add a little bit of water, and then give this thing a score. All right, second sip. All right, that hit a little bit softer on the palate on that second sip as opposed to that first one. I'm not really getting much proof at all. Again, those notes are just kind of gliding over. They're well rounded. There's really nothing sharp in here, but it's a pretty soft hitting whiskey. Cherry, vanilla, a little bit of that brown butter as well. Yeah, I'm not really too sure how I feel about this. I was expecting it to be a little bit more of a flavorful pour, and it's just not really hitting me all that great. I mean, it is good. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it, but I expected something a little bit different, not really knowing or having experience with the Weller lineup, with the exception of the Weller Antique 107. I don't know if I said Weller Foolproof at the beginning or not. So adding water to this, see how it does. Just briefly, I really don't have experience with the Weller lineup. I know the mash bill from Buffalo Trace is undisclosed. It's the wheated mash bill that's used in the Pappy lineup and the other Weller products as well. I think there's industry speculation that the mash bill is somewhere around 70% corn, 16% wheat, and 14% malted barley. But again, undisclosed. And I mean, it's an approximate mash bill that people are thinking. I don't know where they're getting that information, but that's kind of what I found on the research that I did. If you know something a little bit different, let me know in the comments down below. Also, I guess this is a good time to tell you, I recently opened up a Patreon account. If you're interested in supporting the channel, do me a favor, click on that link for the Patreon account in the description below. Read through my tiers. If you're interested, pick one of the tiers that suits you best. And if you've made it this far and you enjoy what I'm doing here, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Turn the bell notification on because I produce videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right, the water brought out a little bit of spice. I don't think I've mentioned the word spice at all during this review. Adding water typically does that. I'm thinking or guessing that there's water-soluble and non-water-soluble particles. When you add water, they separate, and the first thing that you get on the nose are those non-water-soluble particles that could come across as maybe a little bit spicy. And then on the palate, it usually does come across as spice forward as well. So it definitely brought out spice adding the water. You get a little bit more of a vanilla note. I mean, if I'm pressed, I could say slight amount of cherry, but the floral and those herbal notes are not there at all. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate and see if anything changed there. Got a little drying, got a little bit more oaky. The spice is now up front and center. Vanilla cream soda note. Spice is pretty peppery. It kind of killed everything else, but now there's, instead of a cherry note, there's more of like an apple skin kind of note coming through. And maybe that's adding to the bitterness that I'm getting of the oak or the wood underneath the tongue. I wouldn't say that the water diminished the intensity of the notes. It just changed them a little bit. So water doesn't really kill the ABV. I'm still getting pretty good amount of spice and ABV heat. The notes just kind of shifted around a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if I like this with or without water better. It's just different. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a very long review. So let me know in the comments down below, which of the Weller products, that Weller lineup, do you like the most? Do you see Weller in your area? And if so, how much are you paying for it? And did I overpay for this bottle? And if I didn't mention already, this is a barrel select from Sazerac for Total Wine, and it's barrel number 020. I don't know if that makes a difference for you guys or not, but that's the information that's on the bottle. All right, so let's go ahead and give this thing a score. I rate everything out of 5 stars. I don't think this is impressing me enough. I think it's definitely elevated other than just an average bourbon. And then putting it to a wheated bourbon, I think I've had wheated bourbons that are better. I know Weller is all hyped up, and I don't know if this individual selection is any different than the other Weller Foolproofs that are out there. So I'm going to settle at a 3.25. It's above average, and it's above average for a normal bourbon, but nothing too spectacular. It's an easy drinker. It's well-rounded. It doesn't really do much with and without water. It just kind of changes the notes a little bit, but it doesn't diminish the intensity of those notes. So that's where I'm at, 3.25. Let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, share, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. And I guess that's where I'm going to leave it today. So wherever you were at in your journey, I hope you're enjoying it, and we'll talk to everybody later. Bye.